Had to get Anthony on to talk about all of this. Kind enough to join us right now. Let's go to Showtime Pettis, who's fighting Roy Jones freaking Jr. What's up, Anthony? How are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
Are you an anime fan, by the way?
Nah, man, I don't watch that at all.
See, us grown men, we got better things to do than watch that anime.
I ain't got time for all that.
Exactly. By the way, what a setup this is with the WEC belt behind you and the UFC belt. Shit, talk about a flex right here.
Yeah, man, got some room for a couple more still too. I'm not done yet.
I like that. Okay, this is insane. And you know what? People on Monday thought that we were playing around. We were messing around. So I was like, I need to get one of the particulars in this main event involved, in this on the show. So this is real. April 1st, Milwaukee, your backyard, home of the Bucks. You're boxing Roy Jones Jr. in an official fight, not an exhibition, not some like showy thing, like a pro bout, 8 rounds. This is a real thing that you're taking part in.
Real deal, bro. 8 rounds, 3-minute rounds. My first professional boxing fight, but yes, against Roy Jones Jr., man. In my hometown, I couldn't say no to that. An opportunity like that pops up, once in a lifetime. And, I was honestly getting ready for the PFL at 170 pounds. Then this popped up and kind of just changed my whole year round.
So what happened? Like, how did this all come about? Someone reach out to you? Jorge reach out to you? What happened?
Yeah, man. Jorge's been, doing the boxing thing, and he hasn't done a card of this caliber yet. But, Dean Toole is, a partner in Jorge's thing, and he was reaching out and just putting fillers out there. And at the time, I thought he was just, playing around. I'm like, I'm up for whatever. If you can get some names, I'm ready to box. I've been boxing with Capetillo for the last 2 years. Jorge Capetillo out here in Vegas, and he started bringing names my way. I'm talking about some big names, and I'm like, dude, there's no way you can get these guys to agree to this. And he put both up Roy Jones Jr. and had a bout contract ready to go. I mean, it's amazing to see how this came together in my hometown, and that fighters have options now, bro. There's a lot of opportunity out there to be in the fight world right now.
It's wild. So what was your reaction like when you saw the contract and it's Roy Jones Jr., one of the greatest fighters of all time, against you?
That was amazing, bro. I was in Cabo for my birthday, so I was on a yacht, celebrating my birthday, hanging out with my wife and my brothers and my family, and all of a sudden, Melky hits me up and sends a contract, and I read the name. I'm like, what? No way, this is real. I had to hit him.
Oh, you didn't know?
Like, yeah, bro. I didn't know. No,
wow.
We had a couple names we were talking about, and I knew this card was coming together. Jeremy Stevens is on the card, Jose Aldo, and a lot of big MMA guys are on the card, but I didn't know who I was going to fight yet. There was a lot of names that were thrown out there, and then I got the contract, and it was Roy Jones Jr. And yeah, I was like, bro, happy birthday to me.
Wow. Do you mind sharing some of the other names, just out of curiosity?
All of other opponents
that were being talked about.
It's some big ones. Trinidad was one of the biggest ones.
Wow, Tito Trinidad.
Yeah, bro. One of my idols as a kid, bro. Yeah, like watching him and De La Hoya fight was, something I grew. The reason why I even started fighting, and he was one of the opponents they offered. Cowboy Cerrone was on the list. I mean, Paul Daly was on the list. There was a bunch of guys. Mike Perry. A bunch of guys that were just like thrown around. I'm not sure who was officially offered the fight, but yeah, I was like, it was intriguing enough for me not to sign with the PFL contract right away.
And so, you mentioned that it's great to have options, and it is. I love this. Like, that's why I want there to be 10 MMA organizations. I know the MMA fans may not like this because that means that you guys would be scattered, but that means you guys get paid more and there's leverage and opportunities and options, etc. Without saying, like, and because I asked Jorge this question and he kind of, bypassed it. Like, is the money good for this? Like, because it's Jorge.
Oh, man.
Are they paying well?
Bro, it's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I was surprised to see the check. I mean, it made me not sign my PFL contract, and we know where my PFL contract was. It was awesome, great money. It's enough for me to go fight Roy Jones Jr. Is my professional debut as a boxer.
Wow. So where do you stand? That was my other question. Where do you stand with the PFL? Are you no longer with them?
I am with PFLs. Yeah, we'll be fighting on their pay-per-view format. I'm not going to do the season format this year. I mean, last 2 years in the season format is just rough, bro. It's a really hard format for somebody like myself. You got to be like in the trenches. It's kind of like the Ultimate Fighter. You got to be on weight, every 5 weeks.
Right.
3 or 4 fights in a row. That the point system. It's really a really hard format. So I met with the team, and Melky presented a couple options to me. And initially, I was going to do the tournament at 170. And then when this fight came about, just changed the rest of the year.
So you still were going to do the tournament, but in a higher weight class to, I guess, like
I was planning on moving up to 170. I couldn't make 55 no more. I mean, I was dying trying to stay at 55 for that long period of time. It was like from April to like August, September, you had to stay 155 pounds. It was rough.
Do you think you're done fighting at 55?
Yeah, for sure, man. I don't think I can make 55 anymore. I mean, I'm walking like 95, 98 right now and in pretty decent shape. So yeah, I don't think I can make 55 again. I mean, if I really killed myself, I could, but at this point in my career, it's like, why?
Right. And so this fight against Roy Jones, what is it? What's the weight class?
200 pounds.
What? 200 pounds? Holy shit.
200 pounds. So I'm gonna fight him at my natural weight. I'm 195 right now, so I'll be fighting around this weight here. About I'll probably fight 98 probably.
Are you worried? I mean, what's the highest you've ever fought at?
170 pounds in MMA.
Yeah, this is a big jump. Are you worried about that?
Big jump. I mean, obviously, I'm training at a higher weight class now. I feel good at this weight class. I feel healthy. Not depleting myself. This is my first time doing a full training camp without having to do that big ass weight cut. Even at 70, I was cutting weight to get down 170 pounds. So, I'm gonna try this for the first time, at a higher weight class, and against one of the greatest of all time, bro. So it's what, like I told you, like it makes me excited to wake up and train. It makes me excited to go to the gym and put this together.
Yeah. And so with PFL, you were like, all right, I'm not going to do the tournament at 70, but whenever you guys do this super fight pay-per-view thing with Jake Paul and all that, sign me up for that. And they were okay with this?
Now, well, we had options with the PFL. They were kind of like asking me what I wanted to do next season, and I knew 55 was off the table. So they offered the pay-per-view format before this fight even came together. So they're going to do, I think, two pay-per-views this year, summertime and then end of the year. And they were like, "Yo, we would like to have you on that format." So that was the initial offer from PFL, and I was kind of sold on going one more run at that tournament. I wanted to add that belt up here, to have the opportunity for that. But then this fight kind of came up when negotiations were happening, and I had to take this opportunity, man, in my backyard, in my home. Last time I fought in Milwaukee, I beat Ben Henderson for the belt.
Yes.
So it's been a long time.
UFC 164, I believe it was, at the Bradley Center.
That's it.
And so now you get
Bradley Center.
I was there. I'll never forget. It was an incredible scene. Are they going to Milwaukee because of you? Like, in other words, if this fight wasn't happening, if it was someone else at the top, they're not going to Milwaukee. This is all centered around you?
I'm not sure, actually. No, I'm not sure. I mean, I think Milwaukee was one of the venues. It was funny because my APFC fight show was already scheduled for April 1st. So I ended up having to give up my fight date from the commission to this show. So I think they made it happen more in Milwaukee because I'm the main event. But I think they had the Pfizer Forum, the arena already reserved just in case.
Okay. And my understanding is like he's been cleared, the commission is on board just despite his age, right? 54. Like it's all good as far as you know?
The contract signed, the commission signed off on it. Yeah, everything's good.
Wow.
I mean, we're fighting it first.
Do you have any reservations about fighting someone who's 54?
No, man, he's dangerous, bro. Like especially with how much knowledge he has in boxing, and this favors him. It's 8 rounds. It's something I've never done before. So there's a reason why he agreed to this fight. Obviously, I'm 36, and I'm just coming out of my prime in mixed martial arts. So it's a dangerous fight for him to agree to. But I mean, I'm a 170 pounder. There's a lot of favors in his position. So I got to work for this one, man. Like this is a real fight for me, and I plan on trying to win this fight.
Did you watch? I'm assuming you did. Everyone kind of did. Did you watch his fight against Mike Tyson a couple of years ago? And if so, what did you think of how he looked?
I just watched it again.
Oh, what did you think of how he looked?
Totally different fight, though, man. Mike Tyson's a monster.
Yeah.
Like, Mike Tyson was walking him down, and Mike Tyson, lands one of them uppercuts or hooks. It's lights out. So he fought a smart fight in that fight. It's hard to judge it. He's going to be a totally different fight against me. He's not going to be worried about getting knocked out. Like he's gotten hit by a much bigger guy. So I think he'll probably press the pace on me and try to test me a little bit.
So is this like you were telling me yesterday, like you haven't felt this type of excitement to go out and train and get ready for a fight in a long time. Is this part of the appeal? You decided to leave the UFC just so that you can have these fun options towards the end of your career, just do whatever you want, be an independent contractor, so to speak. This is kind of what you dreamed of, maybe not fighting Roy Jones in a boxing match in Milwaukee, but this was part of the dream, right? To just go out there and do things that would motivate you and get you excited?
Most definitely, man. Yeah, like when I left the UFC, I was taking a risk, and then the PFL came with the contract that was, amazing and a cool format that I wanted to try. But like, I wasn't fighting guys that were like P-level guys, guys that get me excited to fight, honestly. And it's not taking shots at them guys. It's just where they were at in their career and the format that I was put up against them at. But getting a phone call like Roy Jones Jr., bro, in your hometown, it's like that couldn't have happened a couple of years ago. So it's cool to be in this position.
Did you mess up your hands in that fight against Stevie Ray in August?
I broke my hand before my first fight in the PFL.
Oh, wow.
So it was in February. I was sparring Nathan Levy, a UFC guy,
Yeah.
and I threw a spin back fist and I caught his elbow and I broke my pinky. That's why I had to push my start back a little bit.
Yeah.
And so that whole season I was dealing with a broken left hand. Yeah, and then the first jab I hit him with, I break my left hand, and then I hit him with an overhand right and break my thumb. So yeah, I was in that fight with two broken hands.
Wow. What is that? So did you have surgery on them?
No, I had surgery on the left and I had a cast on the right.
What is it like not having any hands for an extended period of time?
And you couldn't elbow in that format, bro. So it was
Oh,
crazy. Like, really,
jeez.
all I could do was kick. And then he had my back, so I couldn't defend, properly with my hands. My thumb was messed up, so I couldn't even get my glove into his grip. So it was a lot of mental, like frustration. I would say, I was like, man, I wanted to go. I knew it was at stake. I lose this fight. I didn't really feel like I was in danger with him, but it was just I didn't have my weapons.
And what was it like going home, like just living life with two hands in a cast?
Oh, I didn't. I fixed one first, so
Oh, okay. Smart.
I had a surgery on the left, and then I fixed the right. So yeah, it wasn't too bad. And I'm used to. I mean, I broke my right hand so many times. I've used one hand for numerous times.
Okay. Did you consider at all stopping fighting after that fight?
No, not at all, bro. I know it's gonna end pretty soon. Like I'm 36 years old. I'm realistic about it. But as long as fights like this pop up, opportunities like this pop up, it's still entertaining to me. It's still fun. It's still I got Sergio just flew out here to start training camp. We haven't been able to do a training camp together since COVID because he had his
Wow.
knee surgery. Yeah, so like, it feels good to be back in this style of life again, man. And I feel like I earned this position. I've done so much in the sport of mixed martial arts. Kind of not what Roy Jones did in boxing. I can never say that because that is a great. But I've earned the position I'm in, and it's fun to be in entertaining fights like this.
Is Sergio fully recovered?
He is. Yeah,
Wow.
he's going to be one of my sparring partners, and I don't know what's next for him with Bellator just because of the tournament. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's back sparring. He's back training 100%, so he'll be ready.
Are you bringing in any, bigger boxers to help you prepare for this? Any,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
most definitely. Bro, I live in Vegas though, so I mean, there's so many good guys here. Like literally, there's a pick of guys, and some of these guys that no one's even heard of that are A-level boxers that the big guys are using for sparring partners as well. So Jorge Capatillo is my boxing coach, and I've been using him for the last 2 years in the PFL. And so all that training, I feel like paid off. It's going to pay off for what I'm about to do right now.
And who will be your corner? Who will be in your corner?
Jorge Capatillo, his son Sergio, and Duke Rufus.
Okay, so will Duke help you prepare for this?
Yeah, Duke will. I mean, I'm not going to pull him away from the team. A lot of guys are getting ready for big fights. We got Christian Rodriguez getting ready for his fight versus Raul Rosa. Sergio's getting ready for his return back. So I'm gonna bring in Duke, sporadically, throughout the camp, and then it's in Milwaukee, so obviously he'll be my corner.
Right. I was going to ask you about Christian. That's your guy, right? You manage him.
My guy, I manage him. Yes,
Amazing. Is that how many guys you have in the UFC now?
we've got two in the no, one in the UFC. We just got Christian. Right,
Christian, that's your guy. Wow, this is a big deal, and you'll be
but
cornering him.
Yeah, from the APFC show, we got two guys in the UFC, two guys in the PFL, working on a Bellator guy. So like the fight show is actually progressing guys to the goal that I set out to be.
And
But yes, I will be cornering Christian Rodriguez, in Miami. The kid that I seen, grow up. He went to the same high school my little brother went to. I've kind of followed in Sergio's footsteps. I've trained with him since he's been a kid, so I know what he's capable of. And I told him, man, I'm like, yo, they're letting you control your destiny with this one. They're giving him a big fight on a marquee card. So he's taking this one seriously. I'm excited about it too. I think this is a very winnable fight for him.
Raul is someone they're super high on. He's like this 18-year-old sensation, all that stuff. Are they making a mistake, in your opinion, by matching him up against Christian?
Well, that's why the UFC is one of the funnest organizations. They test their guys right away.
Right.
Both of these guys came off of contendatory contracts, and Christian took a short notice fight at a higher weight class. So I think this is what kind of lined them up for this position. But yeah, it's not going to be an easy fight. For either one of these guys. Both of these guys are young, hungry killers. And it's fun to see these guys fight at this stage.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I believe your cousin got signed by Combate, right?
Yep, we just got that one done as well. So
is that another one of your guys? Do you rep him?
Another one of my guys. Yes, yeah. All these guys, I've seen grow up, doing this. I started in this sport as kids, so like, yeah, it only makes sense. I take these guys in. I started the management company 2 years ago, and now I'm actually starting to get my first phase of guys going to PFL, going to Bellator, UFC, and now I got Christian. That actually, that was like the only guy that I took signed that was already in the UFC. only because of the history together. But I really wanted to start these guys from scratch and bring them up my way, my system.
What's harder, the management stuff or the promoter stuff?
The promoter stuff, I have a great team behind it, so I think that was key, putting that team together behind that. I just show up to the fights.
Oh,
There's some headaches that go on. So headaches that go on with matchmaking and guys on that side. But as far as like ticket sales and sponsors, I got a great team that handles that for me right now. The management side, bro, it's sad to see these guys make the decisions they make. It's like I've been there, and some of these guys will pass up on some big contracts in hopes to get on a contender series fight or it's I see it time after time after time, and I'm like, man, look at the look at your career, like look at what age you are, look at how much time you got left, like let's make some money before it's gone. And yeah, it's still there, man. That UFC dream of like these guys want to be in contender series fights, and they'll risk not making money to go take an opportunity on that. And I get it. They see me and they see like what the UFC has done for my name. Being a champion in the UFC definitely allowed me to do what I'm doing now. But like, it's just, I thought we were past that at this page. Like seeing PFL come in strong,
right.
seeing Bellator, ONE FC. There's so many other organizations that these guys are just so fixated on one place. But I mean, that's the hard part about the management. You really can't control these guys. You give them the advice, and ultimately their decision.
It's so crazy because like look at a guy like Michael Chandler outside looking in, and that, you know what I mean? You don't have to go to them first. You could build yourself up elsewhere, and then they'll want you. And I've heard of this too. People turning down big money from Bellator, PFL, other organizations just to say that they can be, a UFC fighter. Makes no sense.
Yeah. And at the lower level too. I mean, I understand, some of these higher level guys, but like the lower level guys, like you're just starting off. Like you shouldn't be so fixated on one path, I guess. And that's probably my frustration with it. Cause there's a lot of other ways, like you said, there's a lot of other ways to get to, and really to get to what? To being a stable athlete, to be able to live this life and not have another job. But that's kind of the goal of most this. That should be the goal of most of these guys is like, all right, I'm doing this. I'm one of the best in the world. I shouldn't have to work another job. I shouldn't have to have 10 side hustles. I shouldn't have to do, A, B, and C to make a living. So that's kind of what's, the path that has to get cleared out right now. And I think, with all these opportunities coming up, it's just making it a lot easier.
Two last things. Any chance you look amazing, you feel amazing, you love everything about the boxing, and you say, screw this MMA stuff, I'm done. I'm just going to be a boxer from here on out?
Now I signed with the PFL for. I want to do two more, at least a couple more. I mean, there's some stuff in the octagon that I haven't thrown yet, or in the cage that I haven't thrown yet, like some techniques that I was saving for trying to win these fights. And I want to go out there and do some entertaining shit, man. So I'm gonna go out there for these next two to four fights or whatever's left in my career and do some entertaining shit.
Is there a guy or two out there in MMA that you'd love to fight in this?
And there's so many guys out there that would be good fights that were like that make sense. But until the PFL signs somebody, I really can't pick and choose.
Okay.
It's like they want to go into that PFL banner as well. So in MMA, I'm at their mercy. Whatever the PFL can put together, that's where I'm at.
I saw you call it Jake Paul. No chance that happens, right?
Man, everybody's calling Jake Paul.
Yeah.
The dude's a hell of a promoter, bro. Like, I know a lot of people have their opinions on him. He can box for one.
Right.
We all can agree that he can box now, and his promotion in mixed martial arts. The way the PFL brought him on, that little skit he did.
It's amazing.
Yeah, bro. And I'm sure he probably took him 30 minutes, 30 minutes to put together that video. It blew up probably bigger than anything they ever put out.
I think they should make him the face of the PFL, like make him be the promoter at the press conferences.
Like, if he's willing to do that, standing between the fighters.
Yes.
I mean, just his stage, his platform alone just brings so much eyes on mixed martial arts and the PFL.
It is a crazy time though, right? Like you see Francis leave, you see Nate leave. You did it a couple of years ago. Like do you feel like something's starting to happen here where guys are starting to realize that there's more to be made, or is this just a couple of, standalone, instances? Yeah,
I think guys got to be willing to, take that risk. And at the same time, as being as a fighter, I understand that ego thing that comes to it. Like if you want to say you're the best in the world, it's who's the champion at the UFC, and that's just what it is. We all agree upon that. Like whoever's the UFC guy, we're like, all right, that's the best guy in the world, as just a collective, I guess. So I think as a fighter, you want to be that guy, and you're like, all right, I don't care. Eventually, if I'm that guy, I'll make that money. When I'm that guy, I'll make that money. And unfortunately, not a lot of guys get to that point, and once you do get to that point, you realize, man, it's not that much money. Like it's not like end all. You can't retire and be done forever.
I love it, man. April 1st. Good luck to you. This is incredible.
Thank
I
you, bro.
couldn't believe it when he told me in Milwaukee, which
Yeah.
makes it that much more sweeter. I love the fact that it's back in Milwaukee. Good luck to you, Anthony. All the best.
Thank you, bro.
Good luck to Sergio as well. And can't wait to see you in action on April 1st. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, there he is, Anthony Pettis.